Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to another episode of In Depth with David. Today, we are not going to be talking about the Red Sox. We are going to be talking about the Bruins, game one against the Washington Capitals. You probably knew that already by seeing the title. And my co host is not Ricky today, it is my cousin, Bryan. Bryan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'd be doing better if we won last night, but I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I mean, what a game that was. I mean, we can start off really anywhere talking about it. I'm going to be honest, just my general takeaway right from the get go is I'm even shocked it went into overtime.
Yeah, if we like continue playing like that, it's gonna be a short series. So I think the main problem. Well, I mean there is a few. We really didn't look good last night, but I don't know if you noticed, but every time it seemed like we got the puck and we wanted to go into the Washington's end, we would just dump it in, and we wouldn't have a hard enough forecheck to get the puck back. Like Washington would just get possession, and they'd break it out like immediately. Like I don't know, and
There was right. I mean, there was a few odd man rushes I noticed where I remember there was one specifically. I think in the early part of the game. Yeah, the first period I have where McAvoy broke his stick, and then
yeah, that was bad luck.
yeah, that was a bad luck one. And then Mike Green nailed it top shelf, which that was the first goal. And then there was one at the end of the game where Marchand. It was either in the third period or overtime, but Marchand had a nice scoring chance and he whiffed. And then they came in transition. They had like a 3-on-2. I think
Yeah, I think it was Pasternak in overtime.
that's
Or
right.
he came down and tried to toe drag Orlov, and then it just got broken up and it went the other way. But yeah, so McAvoy breaks his stick, and then Tom Wilson puts it top corner, and that's the last guy who wants scoring. Like I don't know if you were keeping up at all with what was going on at the end of the season with Tom Wilson.
Oh yeah, he's making Matt Cook look like a saint from everything I've heard. I mean, I don't know what it is, but like people are like turning around on Marchand now. They're saying that's the other one they use where they're saying Marchand looks like an angel compared to what's his name Wilson has done in the last
Yeah.
couple of weeks.
I don't know if you caught it. Did you see like one of the fans? Like there's like a little girl like in a Capitals jersey. I think she got hit with a puck in warmups. And yeah, Marchand signed a stick and gave it to her. That's pretty cool. Like so I saw a post yesterday, and like the top comment, it was the post was about that, and the top comment was Marchand just made that girl's day. That girl's day went from bad to worse. Like people just love to hate Marchand, but I mean, he's our team's best player, obviously, and I don't know. Like yesterday, no one really showed up, so he didn't show up really either. Like it's too bad.
Do you think because out of all the goals that were scored, I kind of cringed the most at the Mike Green one because once they got the odd man rush, they were just doing like soft passes back and forth, and then Mike Green just was able to nail it top shelf. I mean, that's a hard angle shot, and maybe I shouldn't be too hard on Ras for maybe not saving that one, but like once they got that opportunity in transition, they were just like they weren't making any fancy passes. They were just going like, "Oh, you pass at 5 feet, you pass at 5 feet," and then he scored. So I mean, I feel like that was one the Bruins probably should have stopped.
Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate. Well, I don't know if you're confusing Mike Green with Tom Wilson.
I think I am.
Yeah, I don't even know. I think Mike Green retired.
Who scored? Let me check the name because I have a tab
Tom
open.
Wilson scored the first goal because I know like he put in the first goal, and like everyone's like, what, does this guy really have to be scoring the first goal of the 2021 playoffs? Like, so I know
Okay,
he scored the first
that's
one.
yeah. Okay, so I made an error in my notes. So yeah,
That's
Tom
all good.
Wilson. He was the one who scored the first goal,
Yeah,
opposite top shelf over
yeah.
Rask.
I mean, it's just you don't want to be playing from behind. Like, obviously, and like, you just don't want to be playing from behind in playoffs. And I don't think we had the lead once that game. We were just chasing the whole time. It was too like, I don't know. We really didn't look like we wanted it.
Yeah, and I mean most of their scoring chances too. It wasn't like they were just shooting it from the blue line or hucking it up. I'm talking about the Caps
No,
here.
yeah,
They were getting straight in front of the net.
yeah. They were
Like
able to work it around like no problem. Like I don't know. We just had a hard time like stopping them from doing anything. They were doing everything they wanted. They were just they worked the puck around the zone. They had guys open out front. It was just a really like sloppy game. I don't know. We can't be doing that. Like it's gonna be a short series if we keep doing that. I don't know. It was hard to watch.
no, I agree. If I remember correctly, the Bruins and the Caps because they played each other 7 times in the regular season.
Yeah,
Did the Bruins win 4 times? I want to say. I think they
Yeah, I
won.
think this is like 4-2-2 or something,
Yeah,
or four something like that.
I
We
think they won
definitely
4-2-1.
4-2-1. Yeah, I think we played 7 times. We got the better of them, like, which is surprising because usually, like, just historically, the Caps always have our number. But I mean that the very last game of the season, we played them with like our AHL team practically, and we just barely lost. So I mean, things were looking good going into playoffs. Like Taylor Hall's looked great. Like it's so nice having two lines that can score as opposed to just our top line. Like it was just such a big difference after the trade deadline passed, just the way our team played, and we were rolling going into playoffs. So I was really thinking that like we'd come out of the gates flying in this first game, and it just didn't happen. Like it was just strange because it was like for the most part the line. I mean, the team looked bad, but Jake DeBrusk actually like surprisingly he didn't look terrible last night, which he's not one of the guys I would because he's been healthy scratched and benched like coming up to playoffs,
Oh
but he
wow.
looked decent. He actually looked pretty good last night, and he looked like one of our fastest guys. You could tell he actually wanted to be there, but I mean I don't know what's going on besides that, but
So let me just put this into perspective for the viewers because I'm a Bruins fan, and then during the regular season, I watch them when I can, but
yeah,
most of my attention goes towards the Celtics, Red Sox, Patriots, I guess. I didn't even know DeBrusk was a healthy scratch for a while because ever since he's come up, I want to say like 2016, 2017, he's kind of, I feel like he's always been slotted into that second line with Krejci. But
yeah.
what went wrong this year? Because that's kind of surprising me.
I don't like I don't know. It's been the last like 2 years. So he had 27 goals. I want to say 2 years ago, which was awesome. That's what like he just
Because
hasn't had it
he
since then.
in
Really.
2018 Game 7 against Toronto, I remember he scored 2 goals in that third period. He was a big
Yeah,
reason why we won that, and
yeah.
I guess that was his peak moment from what you're saying.
I mean, that's what it seems like. It's too bad because when he hustles, like he can put the puck in the net, but yeah, he hasn't had it. And then leading into playoffs, obviously with the addition of Hall, he went down. He went down a line, and then like yeah, just some nights he was scratched. So he was playing on the third line last night in game one, and I mean, yeah, he scored, and that was in the first period where DeBrusk scored, and on his goal, Vanacek, the like Caps starter, got hurt, and they put Craig Anderson in that, and Craig Anderson like he's 39 years old, and he only played 4 games this year, and we really didn't even test him after he went in. But I mean, once Anderson went in, they put his numbers up on screen, and I mean, he had really good playoff numbers, which is surprising considering he played for the Senators. But so maybe it wasn't as much as maybe it wasn't so good that their usual starter got hurt because Anderson like put up really good numbers like career wise in playoffs. But
Do you think that DeBrusk goal? Because I tuned in, like I tuned in with like I missed the first 5 minutes of the first period, but
yeah,
the DeBrusk goal. Do you think that was more so skill from DeBrusk or him just catching the goalie off guard, Vanacek, which is an average shot? Because it was right off the faceoff.
yeah. So I was probably a little bit of both because I mean, you got to be able to shoot that quick, and also like yeah, Vanacek probably wasn't completely set because you don't expect it to be like one back and then immediately on net like. But yeah, you could tell right when Vanacek went to save that, like he went into like full split and some just wasn't right. So yeah, they put Craig Anderson in, and we really didn't test Craig Anderson enough.
Do you think that could be an X factor in the series? Because people are saying Craig Anderson could go the rest of the way. I read some article today where the Caps coach Peter Laviolette said that they could be getting some other goalie back who I think's been having like COVID issues all year.
Yeah. So I don't really know. Like Samsonov's their other goalie, and I think he's like supposed to be like. I think he's usually their number one goalie, but yeah, he's had COVID issues and whatnot. So it's been Vanacek for like going down the stretch. But so Anderson, like he's 39 years old. I think he's like turning 40 soon. So
On
we just
Friday,
gotta
I
put.
think they said during the broadcast.
Yeah,
Like,
we just like I don't know. We just gotta put shots on. We really didn't test them too much yet. Like I don't know. Like it's gonna be a huge impact on the series, obviously, because if the Caps don't have their number one and Anderson, I mean, I don't know how Anderson's gonna be because we just didn't test him enough last night. So, but it's definitely gonna impact the series one way or another.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking, let's see, so he played 2019, 2020 with Ottawa. He had a 3.25 goals against average in
Yeah, it's not very
34
good.
games. Save percentage 902.
Mm,
So are you saying it was more so last night? Because I agree with this, that we didn't really test him and he didn't really do anything too flashy.
yeah,
And it was more so the Caps, like defense
they
protecting
just
him.
yeah. So yeah, because it's we didn't do enough to test him. We don't know how he's gonna be, and really it, I mean, it's hard to test the goalie when you're running around like in your own end the whole game. Like basically what we were doing. Like we would try to start something. We would just dump the puck and the Caps would get it and break it out. And I don't know, you just can't really test the goalie like that. You gotta try to set up in the zone and shoot the puck. Like we just didn't do it enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that was just have to get more offense going. I hope this is a wake up call for the team. I mean, it better be because we
Yeah,
can't go down 2-0.
no.
It's going to be hard
No,
to come back against the
not
Caps.
to not to the Capitals. You don't want to go down 2-0 to a team like that. And I mean, they came out so physical. The Capitals, Krejci got destroyed by Ovechkin like at the very beginning of the game.
Right.
Like they were hitting everything that moved, and usually like the Bruins are built for that. But I mean, I don't know. Like we seem to have gone a little bit more towards skill than like physicality. Like since the trade deadline, like with the pieces we've added and we lost Char, and he was a big part of the physicality that we had. And I mean, it's just we gotta just keep it like we just gotta try to keep up with them in the physical department because they ran us out of the building last night, and they set the tone early with that. But
Yeah, that whole Chara thing, we should touch on that for a second because just still, I know it happened last offseason. He's played pretty much a full season with the Caps so far, but him being in a different uniform is just the weirdest thing ever to me.
yeah, it's gonna take getting used to. It's still like
And we played him in 7 games, and I'm still getting used to it.
yeah, it's too bad. Like it's too bad, with COVID, you can't have full stadiums or whatever. Because when Chara came back for the first time, like the whole garden would have been on its feet cheering him on. But it's just too bad he couldn't get that. But we always have a soft spot for him because
Oh,
he's the
absolutely.
captain. Yeah, but it is just weird because just seeing him in another jersey and yeah. Also, leads to another thing because our power play did not look very good last night, and Chara's on their penalty kill and he's a reason for that. Also, like that, we didn't look so good on our power play last night. He's got his long stick and he gets it in passing lanes and all that stuff. So it's too bad he's on the team we're playing.
So you don't think the power play looked good last night? I mean, that's interesting because I mean, spoiler alerts, everyone watching, but we did score a
They
power play
scored
goal.
one, yeah.
Nick Ritchie.
Nick Ritchie he just sits in front of the net and does his thing. But I don't know. So the power play honestly just looked like a lot of the rest of the game for us, where we would dump it in, the Capitals would get it, and then on the power play, like they would just ice it, and we'd be forced to go all the way back to our own end and then come all the way back up the ice. But yeah, we did score on it. So I think we had like 3 or 4 power plays. We scored once, which I mean that's not terrible, but we just really didn't get too much sustained pressure like during those power plays. But I mean, I guess we made them. Well, we didn't really make. It was all right. I don't know. We could have done better on the power plays. Like I think at the beginning of the season, we were at the top of the league on power plays, and we just hit a really big drought. Like we just haven't had it since.
Right. I mean, I think I read a statistic right before the season ended. I think there was like 3 games left where our power play kill was like 89% effective or something like that. And
Mhm.
our power play itself was like 11%. So obviously
Yeah,
that's awful.
yeah, it's not good.
I
But
feel like on and off as the years have gone on since I've watched hockey, we've either had a really good power play or a really bad power play. There's like no in between. But,
yeah,
I think I can agree with that to an extent because, I mean, we had 4 power plays, like you said, and the one time we scored was off a deflection because Nick
yeah.
Ritchie was just.
That was a wacky goal. I thought they honestly like. I don't remember who it was, but I thought they scooped it out before they crossed the line. But I mean, obviously, like they didn't. But it was really close. We almost didn't score on it.
Right. And I mean, that ended up tying it, but let's just jump back a little bit to the beginning of the earlier part in the second period where Brendan Dillon on the Caps ended
Oh,
up scoring one. It was a deflected shot from the blue line. Looks like it went off Ovechkin.
oh, right. And then Ovechkin celebrated like he got it. And then at the time I was like, oh, Ovechkin has like 700 something goals in this league. I think he knows when he scored, even though it didn't look like it hit him. I was like, I mean, he's just got to know at this point whether or not it was him. So I was like, oh, I mean, it must be Ovechkin's goal, but it wasn't his goal.
Yeah, because in regular time and even on the replay for a while, I convinced myself it either went off his skate or his stick. But
Yeah,
then they called it Dylan's goal, and
yeah,
then Ovechkin. This is another thing. Like I respect the heck out of Ovechkin, but he's been maybe this is because he's been a Bruins killer for years. I feel like that's kind of fair to say.
yeah.
Whenever he scores a goal, he just acts as if it's like the end of the world. He's just like beating his chest and he's going crazy. Like I get there's a part of it where you want to fire up your boys, but like just chill.
I know what you're saying. I don't know. If I was
you
scoring
played
goals
hockey.
in the NHL, I'd be doing the same thing. I don't know. That'd be awesome. I can't. I mean, it is true though. He scored like 700. He doesn't need to celebrate every goal like it's his first, but I really can't blame him.
Maybe this is more so just bitterness from the time he beat us in 2012, that playoff series. But
yeah, that's a big thing is them not having Holtby because Holtby had our number too. He was like a big reason why we could never beat the Capitals. He always shut us down, but so we don't have him to worry about at least.
Right. Yeah, just Ovechkin. I mean, heck of a player. It's just, the celebration.
I'm rooting for him to break Gretzky's record. I don't know. I did my senior project in high school on him chasing Gretzky's record. I hope he gets it.
How many more goals does he need for it?
Not exactly sure. I think
is it doable?
Yeah, it's doable. But this season obviously being shortened doesn't help.
Because he's in his mid-30s, right?
He's like, I want to say he's 35.
35. Okay, so he could probably play for another 7 years, I think. I mean,
yeah, I mean, that's not out of the question, but yeah, I mean, I think he could do it. And I think he's on record saying he wants to beat it, obviously. So I think he'll do what it takes, but it is tough because he's getting older and you never know with injuries. And like for the most part throughout his career, he hasn't been very injury prone, but just the end of this season, he was hurt like for a few weeks. I want to say like going into this playoffs, which is another reason why I thought like the Bruins should have no problem taking game one. Ovechkin was hurt before playoffs started. I think Backstrom, their like number one center, he was also hurt going into playoffs. John Carlson was also hurt going into playoffs. That's the Capitals' number one defenseman, and they still took it to us game one, which is like it's just too bad. We really should have taken advantage of that. But yeah, so Ovechkin's got 730 goals and Gretzky has 894. So it's doable. I hope he gets it. But
I think he can get that in like 5 years or something, maybe even sooner. Because how many goals? Do you know how many goals off the top of your head he had this year? Was it like 20 in the 30 range?
Actually, it was definitely. I want to say it was like over 20, but I don't think he hit 30. I don't think he was like that far up the top of the league, and part of that is he had some time injured. But it's too bad this season was shortened because I want to see him get that record.
Would you still say he's dealing with an injury? Because if so, I mean, I think that's.
I don't know. The way he came out, it didn't look like it. He was running people over.
Hit on Krejci. I mean, yeah. I think we could take advantage of that, but I mean, he's Alex Ovechkin for crying out loud. It's like say you're going to take advantage of an injured Tom Brady. Like he'll find a way to make it work. Yeah. So hopefully we can do something there. Obviously, we'll go back to the power play quickly. Bergeron had a shot off the post, which left it so Pastrnak could have it wide open in the net, but he couldn't get a stick on it.
Yeah, that was close. Yeah, Bergeron should.
Do you blame Pasta on that play? Because I mean, I was kind of looking at that. And I'm like, how the heck? Like the defender was right there, but I'm like, how the heck do you not get a stick on that? It's right at the red line.
He was. I don't know if you caught it. I think he had like his stick between his own legs. Like he was really doing anything he could to get it to get like a good shot off there, but he just missed. I think it just went wide. I don't know I think he hit the puck and it just went wide. That would have just changed the whole game had we scored there, but the way we were playing, like we weren't really, I don't know, like it's
I like the way Pasta played last night though. I will say he got a lot of good, I have 6 shots on goal. He had an assist. I know there's like a thing where playoff Pasta, like I feel like he kind of has his ups and downs in the playoffs, but I mean, if he can continue to put performances together like that, I mean, we'll be right there. It's just
this year as a whole, like hasn't been his best. He's gone like at the beginning of this season, he was pretty hot, but he's been off and on recently. We just if we want to like make a big run at the cup. We need him at like playing at his best. So yeah, it's good to see him getting shots on net and getting into the groove of the game.
Because he had one right at the beginning where he got right in front of the net, and he just wasn't able to cash it home. But I mean, we just need him shooting the puck, and I mean, things are going to happen because he's known to put it in the back of the net.
Yeah.
What do you think of the rest of the first line, Bergeron and Marchand?
I mean, honestly, like the whole, I don't know, as a whole, the team just chased the puck around. So they didn't really stick out to me in any particular way last night, Marchand and Bergeron, and that's not a good thing when your first line isn't sticking out, because that's our like thing that's
it's
our best
been our
players.
thing for years. Like people have said, like the Bruins are only known for their first line.
Yeah, exactly. The perfection line, or they just, I don't know, they didn't look like it last night, and
because they've got to probably be my two disappointing players last night. They had 0 points, zero shots on net.
Yeah,
like you can't even throw one on net.
That's terrible. Yeah, it's not good. Marchand, there was like a few times where he just overhandled the puck last night. Like I definitely have some scenarios in my head, but I can't tell you like the players involved exactly. But there are times when he just would hold on to the puck too long and cause a turnover, and then the Capitals are going the other way. So it's just, and Bergeron, I think Bergeron like did really well in the faceoffs, but like that's the only thing I can really say good about him last night.
He won his first 7 faceoffs, and I mean, that's good. I'm not going to say surprising because Bergeron's been known that he's one of the best. He might be the best two-way center in the league. I mean, I think he's probably the best still. Obviously, he has plenty of Selke trophies to his name, but for them to not throw a single shot on net, or Marchand had that one I talked about earlier where it was like an odd man rush at the end of the third period, but he just whiffed at it. I think it hit the back plexiglass or whatever, but for them to not even register a shot is just ridiculous. And I mean,
no, you can't win games like that.
And I'm no hockey connoisseur or whatever. You know the game better than I do. You played the game. But when you're on the first line, I'm pretty sure you get the majority of the time on ice.
Yeah.
So for the fact, in most scenarios, I don't know like statistically if that was the case last night, but you can't put one shot on net. That's ridiculous.
No, it's not. Like, yeah, those are two. Obviously, Marchand had the most points on this team this year, and like, you don't get the most points on the team by not shooting the puck. Like, you gotta, and you're just not effective if you're not shooting. Like, I don't know. And you're out there the most, and you get 0 shots. It's tough.
Like, that should be a focal point. Like, I don't know how Bruce Cassidy is like if he gets angry or whatever. Like, there's memes of him on the sideline over the years, like freaking out at referees' calls, but. If I'm him, you got to go over to Bergeron and Marchand and say, what the heck? Like, what the heck was that, guys? Like, they got to do better.
Yeah, if I'm Cassidy also, like, I would be, I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not an NHL coach, but I'd be saying, like, we got to carry the puck into the zone where we just kept dumping it in, and the Capitals would get the puck, right, and just, they're out of our zone, no problem. We need to... If we are gonna dump it in, we just need to forecheck a lot harder. We didn't forecheck hard last night. We would just dump the puck in, and the Capitals had no problem breaking it out. And I think that was honestly like one of the biggest problems with our game last night. We got to be harder on like pucks. I don't know. We just didn't have it last night. It's too bad.
Yeah, I won't blame us for dumping it in, but I will blame us also for the way we were playing because. When we kept on dumping the puck in, but we kind of had no choice because we kept people on the ice for so long or whatever. I mean, the Caps dominated time of possession. So you force yourself into a situation where you have to dump the puck in. But as you said, I agree. We need to play better forechecking. We just need to set the tone early. Plain and simple. Do you think, because I hate going back to the series because this is a sour spot for Bruins fans, but Stanley Cup Finals 2019.
No, boy.
First line was non-existent that whole series. Do you think, is this worrisome? It's only one game of the playoffs, but is this worrisome that only Pastrnak was the one to get things going last night in the first line?
I mean, I don't know. Bergeron and Marchand have been doing it for so long. I think we'll figure it out. It's one game. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, obviously you want to see them get off to a better start than that, but it's one game, and we just got to hope it doesn't set the tone for the rest of the series. They're veterans. They've been around. They've been to like multiple Stanley Cup Finals. They've won it. They know what it takes. I think they'll bounce back. They have to.
I hope so. I mean, this has also given me flashbacks to the bubble last year where we came on after like a 4 month layoff, and then we have 4 games to determine which seed we're going to be 1 through 4, and we just don't show up for any of those games. So I mean,
Yeah.
we better not show up in game 4 is what I'm getting at. I mean, better not be 0-3 and oh guys, we can't get swept. I mean,
Yeah. That
you
would
know.
be. Yeah, we got to change it around going forward.
Would you suggest changing up like the line pairings, or do you think that works? Because I mean, I think the first 2 lines are untouchable. I'm looking at the third and the fourth lines. I mean, maybe you could shuffle around the person like DeBrusque after having a good game, a
Yeah.
Wagner.
So it's tough because I think DeBrusque was actually on the bottom line last night, which I guess we could move him up. But yeah, it's tough because we are pretty locked into those first 2 lines, it's a good thing because they've been playing so well, but they just not last night. But Hall didn't look bad last night. He had a few moments where he was like dancing around the other team and doing his thing. But I think, I mean, I don't know if we do it, but Trent Frederick, I don't know if you're familiar, but he has been like the one guy. He's been able to get like kind of physical with Tom Wilson and maybe get in his head. Well, I don't think anyone gets in Tom Wilson's head, but Trent Frederick like would give him a tough time, and he's a young guy that we didn't have in the lineup last night, but he's also real physical. So if we want to set that tone early, I think if we put Trent Frederick in, we might be able to do that unlike yesterday.
That might be an option. I mean, look, I wouldn't mind doing that. I mean, anything to get in Tom Wilson's head.
Yeah. I mean, he runs the show.
Yeah, because he had that whole incident a couple weeks ago in the Rangers when he like body slams Artemi Panarin. Is that his name?
Yeah, and Panarin had no helmet on, and Wilson was like trying to slam him on the ice, and I think Panarin hit his head on the ice. Like it could have been a lot worse. He had like a little like cut on his eye or something, but it could have been worse. And yeah, I don't know. It's just too bad that Tom Wilson just gets away with that stuff. But it's just the way it is. He's a big guy and he's tough.
And he got off with like a $5,000 fine or whatever.
Yeah, he didn't even get suspended. And then the Rangers team came out with a statement saying like they don't stand with the decision to fine Wilson $5,000. Like it should have been a lot more. And then the Rangers head coach and like president or not their like president and general manager got fired. And I don't know. It's a big mess, and Tom Wilson's a big reason for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of him. I just, I don't like dirty players, and I mean, maybe that's ironic or hypocritical coming from me and us because we're Bruins fans, and Marchand is not an angel by any means.
No, but
multiple suspensions over the years, but he's calmed down this year. I feel like that's fair to say.
Yeah, he's cleaned it up for sure. He's definitely cleaned it up, and that's what you need from the guy who's putting up like 70 points in a shortened season. You need him to be on the ice and not out suspended, obviously, and I think he's getting that.
Would you support him licking Tom Wilson?
I mean,
I would.
I mean,
do it.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
can't hurt. He did that.
I don't know. I think you can get suspended for that these days.
Probably. So it's probably not a good idea. He could probably. I mean, if he wants to lick him, sure. He's a grown man. He can do whatever he wants. But I remember he did something in that Toronto series too, where he like kissed like the cheek or something of
something like
Kadri, and I'm like, okay, too far. Like, don't do that. So what was the next highlight? Oh yeah, and then right at the end of the second period, the Caps had a great opportunity, which was really bad with Lars Eller, who was on the Canadiens for a while. I think when I saw that name, I like had to do a double take. But it was a 3-on-1 for Washington, just an odd man rush, and he dinked one off the crossbar.
Yeah, okay, I remember that now. Yeah, I don't know. We gave up too many odd man rushes, and like the Capitals have size and speed. Like they have some guys that play like not on their top lines, but in their bottom lines, like Carl Hagelin, that they have absolute like they can fly out there, and it just makes it tough because they're big and they're fast.
Yeah, the odd man rushes need to stop because clearly we can't do anything about it. And I don't feel comfortable leaving it up to Rask. I mean, I know everyone's going to come with the pitchforks. Like, how dare you come after Tuukka? But if it's a shootout, there's no shootouts in the playoffs, but if it's a breakaway or a 2-on-1, I don't trust Tuukka to make the stop. I'm going to be honest. Like, I think he's an average goalie. I'm not sold on him. These last couple of years, his head's clearly not been there. But, I get nervous whenever teams get good scoring opportunities.
Yeah, I mean that's how it's. I don't know. I'm a big Tuca guy. he went off in the 2019 playoffs. Like he was our best player, and then in Game 7, it just things didn't work out. But if had we won Game 7, he was winning the heart. He was getting MVP of the playoffs, in my opinion, at least. But I don't know.
I'm still bitter about him leaving the bubble. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. He had family issues. I think his daughter was sick or something. I don't know. I don't blame him for that personally, but I I just hope. Yeah, this. I mean, if he played worse, yes, like yesterday, if he played any worse, we could have got absolutely blown out. Like especially the way we were playing and the way the Capitals were playing. But I mean, he could have had like the overtime winner. Like I mean, that's one that he should have probably had. But
because that one squeezed in between. It went through his 5-hole, I think.
I'm not even completely. Yeah, I think it was his 5-hole, but it just squeaked in.
It got deflected, and then it squeaked in through his 5-hole. And I mean, we didn't deserve to win that game, but
No,
that's a save you got to make.
That would have been if we had won that game. Like we didn't deserve it, but that would have been nice. Like we didn't even play good and we won. Like let's hope we just get like this one game out of our system and we're good to go.
Yeah. So third period, I mean, we jumped ahead at the overtime. But third period, nothing really happened. I mean, right at the beginning, actually, Ovechkin, great opportunity, skating past Lauzon, blows the tire right in front of the net. I mean, thank God he didn't catch that one home because these are the situations I don't like where you're just leaving it up to Rask to stop the shooter because, he made some nice stops last night with his pad.
I mean, you don't want really any goalie just to be one-on-one without a defenseman there. It's just it's not good. That's not how you win games.
Right. So, yeah, thankfully Ovechkin didn't cash in there. And then Schultz on the Caps. I don't know his first name, but I have it written down. Justin Schultz. Yep. He hit the outside of the post on another shot. And then Eller had two good opportunities after being in the right spot off of a Caps rebound, but Rask denied him. So Rask put together a good game last night. Maybe I'm being a little too hard on him, I guess, but just
like I don't know. I think for some people, if we win that game, Rask gets all the credit, and we lost, and then you see people like, oh, Rask like put Swayman in, like Rask lost us that game, but had we won, it would have been all up because of Rask because the team played awful, and Rask is the one who kept us in it. So it goes both ways. I don't know. I just think Rask. I think he gets too much hate personally.
I think he gets a lot of hate. I definitely agree with the idea. Like that's kind of ridiculous to put in Swayman. You don't put in a rookie really unless you have to.
People like on Instagram or whatever saying like just put Swayman, and it's like I don't know if it's one game and Rask didn't even play that bad. He didn't even play bad. Like I don't know, Swayman looked good during the regular season, but we don't know how he's going to be in playoffs. But It's good to have Swayman there, though. I am happy that he played so well.
Is Halak like? Did he get left off the playoff roster?
I'm not sure. He's probably the third string, but like I know Swayman's the backup for Rask. I don't know about Halak.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for keeping Rask in. You got to go with the guy who's had plenty of playoff experience up until this point. It's just the hate is the hate. I mean, he's a really solid regular season goalie. It's just maybe it's more so frustration for me and other Bruins fans that we really need him to be hot or be like elite and when it matters, because you can be as amazing as you want games 1 through 6, but 2 games stand out to me from Rask that were really bad. 2014 Game 7 against Montreal, 2019 Game 7 against St. Louis.
I don't know. It's too bad. I don't know. There's a lot of things I can't get into 2019 Game 7 again. There's just too many things like Marchand getting off the ice like at a bad time. The first period, Marchand, I can't do it. Marchand shot it right at Bennington. He had an open net. Like there's just so many things that could have had that game go the other way, and it's too bad that it didn't. But
here we are in 2021.
If we want to get there this year, we gotta play better than we did last night. That's the moral of the story.
Right. I mean, I hope it was a wake-up call. I mean, it really could have been, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2, 7-2, whatever you want to call it. Those 2 goals by the Bruins, just talking about that, didn't impress me too much.
No, that Richie one, I don't even know what happened. And then DeBrusque, it was all right. It was a nice shot, but
Anderson had a chance on that because it went off his pad on the Richie one after the deflection.
It just squeaked in, really. I don't even know. But
And we had some other opportunities, like when we had odd man rushes, we weren't capitalizing, as I talked about Marchand whiffing, and then there was a 2-on-1 with Pasternak and Marchand.
Yeah, and I think Marchand had the puck, right? And he tried to pass it.
He tried to pass it, and
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done that. Just put it on net. We got a 39-year-old goalie in there, like put some pucks on him. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't even care if you hum a wrister from the blue line. Like, just
I know.
do anything.
Test them out.
Like, you could probably even get to him by just screening him for crying. I mean, that's how we got one of our goals last night with the screen. So just get in front of the net, throw a goal on net, and something good should happen. I mean,
exactly.
Maybe they were like spooked by the fact, like, oh God, we have a 39-year-old goalie in net. We're supposed to score well, but we can't. Like, what are we supposed to do?
A lot of times, like, I don't know if it played into it so much last night, but if I'm like the Capitals and my number one goalie gets hurt and I know like someone that's rusty and isn't so good is going in, I'm going to play a lot harder just to make sure that he doesn't see a lot of shots. So I don't know if that also helped to fuel the Capitals, because I know like that is something that happens with teams. If their number one goalie goes down, they want to play good for the next guy because they know he's not going to be quite as good. So, I mean, that might have helped the Caps out in a way, just push extra hard because they don't want anything getting through on Anderson because they know he could be shaky.
Right. And I mean, the Capitals had 33 shots on net, and the Bruins had, I'm doing the math right now, probably nowhere even near that. Or actually,
I think it wasn't actually too bad, but we just didn't have anything.
27-33 is the final count. 26-33. So
I mean, that's not too bad at the end of it, but we just didn't have anything that dangerous.
And it's hard to blame it when you've said, as you said throughout this whole episode, where the Capitals just dominated time of possession. They seemed like they had the puck the whole game. And I mean, just got to do better with the forechecking, like you said. I mean, just disappointing. I guess the Bruins didn't wake up yesterday for whatever reason, but we were able to put up 2 goals. I mean, there's the silver lining where we were able to take this team to overtime. I mean, in a game where we played awful.
Yeah, so that's good.
You know,
hopefully, like, hopefully it serves also as a wake up call, and we can like stick it to them in game 2, because that's really what we need to do.
Yeah, because people are saying that online that we just need to focus on getting more shots in front of the net to score against Anderson. But as we just talked about, I feel like just throw anything on net for God's sake, since you would have.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, he's not like it's because he's an established goalie. Like, it is a little, like, we got kind of disrespecting him by just saying like throw anything on there, but it's true. Like, he's only played 4 games this season. Like, he's not gonna be like in the best of shape. Like, he probably wasn't planning to play. Like, we do just gotta throw stuff on net and hope it goes in, really.
Right, and I mean, Tuukka did an interview after the game. I just want to talk about this for a second. They asked him about his future, and he said he's not really thinking about it, and he's taking it game by game. You know, I think it's a little disrespectful that the question was asked, because I don't really like when reporters do this. They try and bait these players into like talking about stuff like, what do you think their answer is going to be? They're playing the biggest series of their life at the moment, and you're going to ask them about their future. But Rest's answer was kind of a little weird. He didn't say what I thought he was going to say, because the easy out would have been, you know, I'm focused on this series, no comment. Yeah. He said he's taking it game by game, and he's not going to answer it right now fully, but he'll talk to you after the season. Stay tuned, or you'll find out. I don't like that answer.
Yeah, there's been rumors that like he's done. I think, isn't he a free agent after the season? I think he might be. Anyway, I think there's been rumors that like he's going to retire like pretty soon, like shortly. Like, I don't know. It's just been floating around. So we'll see. Hopefully he doesn't, because we could use him obviously to keep Swayman. Like, if him and Swayman could split, that'd be great.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this is the end of the road for him, because obviously the last couple seasons, I remember he took a leave of absence one year, and then obviously he left the bubble to be with his family last year. Maybe his head's just not in the game as much hockey-wise as it was, but yeah, I feel like I'm just criticizing Tuukka a ton in this podcast, but there are so many different ways he could have just answered that question. He could have just said no comment, but I don't like that he's like, because, you know, the players on the internet, your
teammates don't really want to hear that either.
Right. Like, is this guy committed to us? Like, geez.
But I mean, then again, they probably know more than us, the players, like, who are with them every day. So
that's true. He might have he might have, right before the playoffs, just thrown a chair and said, "This is my last run." So yeah, he might know more than us, but that's pretty much the game. The Bruins lose 3-2 in overtime. Drop game one. Game two is tomorrow. I will say this. I am not going to feel confident about us winning. Or before I get to that, a lot of people online are saying they predicted Bruins in 5, and they're still sticking to that prediction. Do you think that's realistic?
So, I mean, it'd be tough. The way we played last night, I don't think it's going to happen, but I still have us winning the series. I picked us in 7 in my bracket. So, I mean, I knew it was, it's probably going to be a hard series because of who we're playing and just the history we have with them. Like, I don't know why people thought we just steamrolled them so easily, but I mean, I think it's going to be a hard series, but I think we can still do it. It's one game.
No, I agree. I mean, I'm thinking it's more looking like 6 or 7 now, like you said. If we win game one, maybe we're looking at a 5-game series. Yeah, but maybe. The Caps came to play, and I mean, you don't know if that was again, I think the X factors are going to be Craig Anderson is going to be put to a test. I mean,
for sure.
Nothing was really, he didn't have to deal with any adversity last night. The first line needs to show up for the Bruins. I think if we can do that, we'll be fine.
I mean, they're like their engine. Like they keep us going all season. That first line, and it's just tough to see them like start off like so disappointed. And so like in such a disappointing way in game one. But I believe they'll get us back on track. Like they have to.
And we really need contributions from all 4 lines because I mean, Capitals smoked us in that department last night. I think everyone, at least one skater on all 4 of their offensive lines had a point last night. So. That's ridiculous. I mean, look, we talk about the Bruins' perfection line and the second line. Like those are the power points or the strongholds of the team. But DeBrusk was able to put one behind the net. Same with Richie. So we got a little bit of a contribution from them. It's just we need it on all levels.
Yeah. Hopefully get that playoff Krejci. Everyone talks about playoff Krejci. He steps it up in playoffs, and now that he's got Taylor Hall on his wing, if he steps it up this year, we should be in good shape. But it didn't happen in game one.
He got 2 shots on net, which I mean is average compared to the rest of the team. I mean, Pasta, I'm looking at the stats. Pasta and McAvoy were the 2 leaders in shots on net. Don't really like seeing McAvoy second. I'd rather that be an offensive player.
But Krejci's at his best when he's like feeding teammates or whatever. So I don't think shots necessarily reflect how good he played because really he's at his best when he's finding his guys like cross crease for easy goals. But obviously you do like want to see him take shots when he can, but yeah.
How do you think game two is going to go?
I hope we bounce back. I have the Bruins winning game 2 4-1. I think we're going to step up and answer. I think we're going to stick it to them game 2 because we got like our first line gets going, our second line gets going. They really can't be any more non-existent than they were yesterday. So as long as those 2 lines step up, we can get the offense going, and I think we can beat them. So I think 4-1 game 2. That's my prediction. 4-1 Bruins.
Yeah, I guess I'm biased, but I think the Bruins are going to win. I think we're going to bounce back. Maybe the Caps get on the board early with a goal, and maybe that's when the Bruins kick it into third gear or whatever.
Yeah, we realize this cannot happen.
Right. I fully expect against a 39-year-old goalie for Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak to go off, maybe a couple points from that line. We saw a decent play from the second line last night. I think they can maybe get something past him. And then maybe we won't need to rely on the third and the fourth line as much as we did in game one. So, I think we can bounce back. Maybe, again, it's a little tough in the first period, but we really should win this game and honestly win the series. And I think we can take the game tomorrow, and I hope we do, because going down 2-0, I don't care if we're facing Craig Anderson in net. I don't care if it's no one in net, a trash can. Like, that's just nowhere, not a good place to be in.
No, it's not. It's always it's tough playing from behind in a series.
What did you think about the playoff format this year? Because a lot of NHL fans were kind of critical of it, where, you're in a division with people based on your geographic location, and you face those same teams 7 times.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
So the way it's just going to be some divisions are stronger than others, and it's going to be weird whoever gets out of like their division because you're playing teams you haven't played all season. So we really don't know just how strong some teams are because I don't know, when two teams that haven't played each other this year, like one could just smoke the other and you might not see it coming because perhaps like the team that got beat was just playing in an easier division. So it is really going to be it's going to be interesting moving forward.
That's the thing I like about playoff hockey more than the other sports is it's probably the most unpredictable of the four sports.
Absolutely.
Because NBA, I don't think I need to say anything about that. It's just you know LeBron's going to be in the finals every year. Football, I mean, the last few years have kind of been dominated by Tom Brady. As much as we love him, he seems to keep making the Super Bowl every year. Baseball is kind of unpredictable too, but I feel like you have crazy stories in hockey where, like, you know, St. Louis, but they were in last in the league that year in January, and they won as a 7 seed.
Yeah, Jordan Binnington, like just unheard of really before that season, and there he is lifting the Stanley Cup at the end of the year. So.
Right. MLB too, I guess, for unpredictability. When the Nationals won, they were 19-31 in like June, I think, and they came all the way. Yeah, they came all the way back to winning 7 games against the cheating Astros. So, yeah, I just like hockey though; it's unpredictable.
Yes.
I don't know how I'd feel. I mean, I think the chances of this happening are slim, but I read somewhere that a Bruins Canadian Stanley Cup final could happen. I don't know how
I mean, I don't think the Canadians, I don't think there's a shot they make it that. Well, I mean, they could. I don't know. It's unpredictable, but
right.
I mean,
no, I don't
see it happening, obviously, but it'd be entertaining. I would say, maybe even a better one would be Bruins Toronto, because that could happen in the finals, and we all know how that's been going. So. Right.
I mean, I'll take our chances against them, even though they're a great team.
Yeah, they really are. They've looked good this season, but I mean, everyone says the North, the Canadian division, is weak. I don't know. They have the best player in the world in that division, but Connor McDavid. But everyone says that's a weak division. So we'll see if Toronto, if they make it out of the first 2 rounds and they start playing competition from outside their division, how they do. Yeah.
Last question will ask, and we'll revisit this at the end of the season. Do you think, and we said this a couple years ago, is this the last chance for this core of the Bruins to win the Stanley Cup if they don't get it done this year? Because I think it might be.
Yeah, I don't know. So
I like what we've done. Like Taylor Hall, great addition. Hopefully we can bring him back. Pasternak's going to be around for a while. DeBrus, sure.
McAvoy too.
McAvoy, who's Lauzon seems solid.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough question because, I mean, hopefully if Swayman pans out, that would be huge for us. But
yeah,
obviously, I mean, I don't know if I'd say it's our last year because Marchand, what is he, 31, 32? He put up 69 points in a 56 game season. He's not slowing down anytime soon. That's huge production. So I mean, he's one of the players that people look at and say, oh, he's getting older. I don't know how many years they have left, but the way he's playing, it shouldn't be a problem. And same with Bergeron. He's been so consistent these past few years. He's always I don't know. He's always producing, always putting the puck in the net, and obviously really responsible up and down the ice. So I don't know if it's our last year, but it definitely doesn't help that the core is getting older, 5 times undefeated or whatever they say. So I'm not going to say it's our last year. I wouldn't go that far, but our window's closing for sure.
I would say it's our last year being true contenders. I think no matter what happens with the core moving forward, we can remain being a playoff team in some capacity. But I think this is really maybe even next year, sure. But this year or next year is going to be really the last chance to win a title for a while for Boston.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree, but hopefully Swayman pans out because that'd be huge. We don't have to develop, find a new goalie or anything. If Rask, it'd just be huge for us if Swayman is what he's shown us so far this year.
Right. Any other talking points you want to bring up? I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, we did cover a lot. It's going to be tough if we lose tomorrow, though. I don't know.
It's hard to come back from 2-0 regardless in any sport. I mean, we're going to have 2 games coming up in Boston anyways, but it's going to be tough. I hope the Bruins can rebound. We put ourselves in a little bit of a hole here with a game 1 loss, but we'll see what happens. So that's going to do it for this episode. This is the first Bruins recap. We're going to be doing these for pretty much every game of this series and for every game as long as the Bruins last.
Let's hope we get a few. Let's hope we keep going with these more past the first round.
Right. That's the plan for sure. So look forward to more episodes of this. Let me just remind everyone to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We have Bruins recaps, more of these coming. I have a Red Sox recap coming tomorrow with Ricky to recap the series that just wrapped up today against Los Angeles Angels. I will be doing a recap of the Celtics playing game. The Patriots, when they play in the fall, I'll be doing recaps of them. And then also reality TV, when that comes back in the summer, my favorite shows, I'll be doing recaps of those. And also I'll be doing an occasional personal interview with people. So more content will be coming on the channel as the summer progresses. So look forward to that. Make sure to leave a comment on this video. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like, what you liked about us, what you didn't like about us. And yeah, that's going to do it. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a good night. We will be talking to you after game 2 of the Bruins versus Capitals playoff series. And yeah, we will see you then. Have a good one. Thank you for joining me, by the way, Bryan. We'll do this again.
Of course.
Alrighty.